Would you pay over $400 for an iconic cashmere cardigan sweater? Because I did. And shortly after I made that purchase, I discovered a complete look-alike for 1/3 of the price. Hi everybody, my name is Lori, and today we are going to be looking at the iconic Jenni Kayne cashmere sweater in their Cocoon cardigan style to a near identical version that I purchased at Quince for just $139. When the Quince one arrived, I was shocked by just how close of a dupe it was. So today we're going to talk about the Jenni Kayne version versus the Quince version. Do I think that $400, which by the way was 20% off the retail price, do I think that was worth it, or would I buy the dupe if I had to do it all over again? In addition to discussing these two sweaters, I also thrifted a Jenni Kayne sweater with my good friend Kim. She actually found it. I purchased another Jenni Kayne sweater online. We're going to discuss some of the third-party resources. And then I bought one other Quince sweater just to see what else they had to offer. This oversized cable knit wool cardigan from Jenni Kayne was gifted to me by my good friend Laura Von V, who just happened to do an incredible video doing a deep dive into the brand Quince. So we're going to look at all of these sweaters today, and I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on whether or not I think that the real Jenni Kayne sweater in this classic cardigan is worth the money. Whether you're looking to splurge, save, or score big secondhand, this is the cashmere comparison I wish I had before I had made such a big investment. Okay, for starters, I have been on this slow evolution of trying to become much more intentional with my purchases, and I'm working towards a capsule wardrobe. Very soon I'm going to be launching a series called Closet Confessions, and we are going to go category by category through all of my clothes in my closet, and I am going to edit things down to what I consider the perfect capsule wardrobe, which will incorporate thrifted items, investment pieces, and just standbys that have been with me for years and will be with me for many more. With that in mind, one of the staple pieces I've always dreamed of having in my wardrobe is the Jenni Kayne Cocoon cashmere cardigan sweater. Say that 5 times fast. This past April, my husband and I went on a big trip to California, and we ended up at a mall that had a Jenni Kayne store. Now, I am on Jenni Kayne's mailing list, and I had received word that they were having a 20% off sale, which they run the sale like around Black Friday, a couple times a year. But I was really excited to actually go in person and try on the Jenni Kayne coveted cashmere sweater. So I did. My heart was racing a little bit because it goes against so much of how I typically shop to buy something that's so expensive. But knowing how I've been feeling about my clothes, I've also recently lost 40 pounds on a weight loss journey that I've been on for over a year now. I felt like it was time to get this sweater that I have longed for. They happen to have it in this seasonal color camel that I absolutely loved. If I were ordering online, I would have ordered at least a medium, maybe a large. I ended up trying on and buying the extra small in the camel. This sweater retails for $495. So if you do the math, 20% off is about $396. I know, it's a lot of money to pay for a sweater, but I looked at this and I thought, I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. It's gorgeous. I'm going to live in it. I've wanted it for so long, so I bought it. The tough part for me, being from Massachusetts, is we don't have tax on clothing. So I want to say I paid a little over 9% for my tax, which is about $35. So I really only got about 10% off the sweater. So when I signed that receipt, it was a tough pill for me to swallow, but I have really loved the sweater. When I got home and took a closer look at the fabric tag, which is something that I always do when I'm thrifting, but neglected to do while I was in store, I discovered that it was made in China. Not really what I wanted to see for a $400 sweater, but it's still beautiful quality. It's Italian cashmere, but it's made in China. There was just something that I was romanticizing about walking into the store in California, buying this sweater after having lost 40 pounds. I was feeling really good and the fit was great. The cashmere is absolutely luxurious. It's thick, it's beautiful. beautiful. I had the sales associates telling me how lovely it looked on me. It was the whole vibe of the experience, and it was a very pleasant experience. But when I got home and started to research, I started to just wonder, like, I wonder what the Quince version is like. Now, the Quince version is made of Mongolian cashmere, and it sells for $139. Sometimes you can also find 20% off coupons as well, which makes it an even sweeter deal. So I finally bit the bullet and spent even more money to get the Quince version for comparison. Definitely a splurge, but I decided I was gonna go for it. So when I was ordering that sweater, I was looking at some of the other online reviews, and I decided to order one more Quince sweater so I could compare like maybe what some of the other styles and other fabrics are like at Quince. Quince is a bit of an interesting model. They're a direct-to-consumer business where Jenni Kayne, you are paying for the middleman, which is the retail location, the brick and mortar locations. So I think there's a big part of your savings that comes in when you order from Quince because it goes directly to you from their factory. The thing that I struggle with a little bit with Quince is they are very much part of dupe culture. They are known for making these knockoffs of very popular sweaters from high-end brands. And in many cases, they're using natural fibers, they're using silk and cotton and wool and cashmere. I think they're a tier above the fast fashion brands that we're all familiar with. But then there's that ethical question, do you want to support a business that is copying the styles of other brands? This happens all the time in fashion. I'm not going to get into that today, but when you're making your consideration, whether you want to buy from Jenni Kayne or if you want to buy the dupe, it's just something to consider. But the price tag is so significant that it's really hard to ignore Quince. But it's not the only way to get a beautiful Jenni Kayne sweater or a Jenni Kayne inspired sweater. So I have 5 or 6 sweaters I'm going to share with you today, and I'm going to give you the price. I'll let you know if they are new or pre-owned. I'll let you know where I purchased them, what I paid. Be sure to stay tuned to the very end of the video where I will share with you if I had the opportunity to do this all over again, where would I get my dream cardigan cashmere sweater from? I think you're going to be interested to hear the answer to that. Here it is. This is the Jenni Kayne Cashmere Cocoon sweater, and this is a limited color called Camel. It's not part of their standard line. I was actually looking at one that was more this oatmeal color, but the sales associate said if you like the camel, I would grab that because we don't always carry that, and camel is just so classic. So when I was thinking of a capsule wardrobe, the camel was something that I thought I would just never go wrong with. If you've been following me for some time, you know how much I love the color black, and I was so tempted to get this in black, but I refrained, and I'm really happy that I did not buy my first one in black or my second one. I'm really happy with my choice. Next up is the Quince sweater. Now this sweater was, like I mentioned, $139. I was not able to score any 20% off coupon, but I think if you sign up for Quince's emails, they'll send you a coupon. So I feel like if I was a little bit more patient, I could have gotten this for 20% off. Now with the Quince sweater, I went ahead and followed their size guide and ended up getting a medium, and it's still oversized and cozy, but I think that the Quince sizes run much truer to size than Jenni Kayne when it comes to this particular style sweater. That is not across the board for all of their pieces. Like if you're buying a pair of their denim at Jenni Kayne, I would never buy an extra small for me. I would probably buy a size 10. But when it comes to these sweaters, they run really oversized. I even pushed back a little bit on the sales associate because I was convinced that extra small was definitely not my size, and in any other brand out there except maybe like a really oversized Free People top, extra small would not be my size, but in this case it was. I love that when these sweaters are buttoned up, I can wear them with nothing underneath. It's just that comfortable and soft, and I think for me personally, I love a deep V-neck. I would probably wear this with like a tank top underneath in the winter. I don't love the way crew necks look on me, so the fact that I can wear this cardigan sweater without anything underneath it is a real pro for me, and I can do that with both of the sweaters. So depending on how you like to style your sweaters, you know, you may feel the same or different about that, but this is a real pro for me, and I'm gonna pull it back again. We'll get into the comparison of the feel of these cashmere sweaters a little bit later, but let me just go down the line and share with you where I sourced all of these different sweaters from Jenni Kayne and my thoughts on each of them. This was a sweater that was gifted to me. It's a double XL. It was pretty oversized to begin with, but now since I've lost some weight, it just doesn't feel good on anymore. So I am going to let this go. So this one, also made in China, 39% alpaca, 39% merino wool, and 22% nylon. And it's really beautiful. And this is also a cable knit sweater. It's really oversized and cozy. When I was wearing this sweater, I was more like a size 14 and I wore an extra large in sweaters most of the time. So this was still larger than what I would typically buy for myself, but it was thrifted and it was a gift. So I was more than excited to have my first Jenni Kayne sweater. It's also the only other cardigan sweater that I have in the lineup today. Next up is a Jenni Kayne sweater that I sourced from ThredUP. This particular sweater I got during a sale. I ended up ordering a pair of mother jeans that I wear all the time that were also hugely discounted, and some of my favorite denim in my whole collection. And this cotton sweater. I wanted to try out their cotton. It was a nice casual style. If you're thrifting, Jenni Kayne labels can be a little tricky to identify because their label is black on black. So let me come in close and show it to you. So it can be easily passed over if you're not paying attention or if you don't know what to look for. This is a super stretchy sweater. I love the V-neck. It's really comfortable to throw on with stuff. Also made in China, 70% organic cotton and 30% recycled polyamide. So this is super stretchy. This is a size small, so you can see this one also runs pretty large and it's really comfortable. This particular sweater I've been wearing more over the summer just because it's cotton, so it's much lighter than the cashmere. Okay, next up is this incredible Jenni Kayne sweater. The story behind this is so nice because I was thrifting with one of my best friends, Kim, and I was telling her that I wanted to do this video, and I was explaining I paid $400 for this in California, and then I ordered the Quince one online, and at the time the Quince one I don't think had come in yet. I had, however, ordered the cotton sweater. I was in the middle of doing all of my sourcing for this video and for research purposes, so I was talking to Kim on the drive to where we were thrifting, and I was in the dressing room trying some stuff on, and I came out of the dressing room and she's like, "Did you say you wanted a Jenni Kayne sweater?" And I was like, "You do not have Jenni Kayne in your hands." And she's like, "Oh yes, I do." Kim is the best. When I tell her about a brand or a label, she just goes in and just goes through all the racks, and she found this Jenni Kayne sweater for $8. Now this one is a size large, and I'm happy that it is because it's a little bit of a shorter length and a boxier fit. Let me double check that. Yes, size large. Again, here's the tag. This sweater is so beautiful. It's a nice cream color. If you notice, I went with all light colors, all neutrals. 40% wool, 25% viscose, 25% polyamide, and 10% cashmere. I'm not certain what the style name is on each of these sweaters, so I'll be sure to put them on the screen for you and give you as much information as I can about the sweaters and where to find them. So this is by far the biggest bargain in the lot, and I really love this. I wouldn't seek this out at the Jenni Kayne store like I did the cardigan sweater, because to me, the cardigan sweater is the iconic Jenni Kayne sweater. That's what I wanted for my staple capsule wardrobe in my 50s. That's the one that I really wanted to splurge on. So with the exception of that sweater, I don't know if there are really any other sweaters at Jenni Kayne that I would have walked into the store and purchased off the rack without doing a lot of bargain hunting prior to doing that. And this sweater falls in that category. I think this was like a $200 or $300 sweater on their website. The last sweater that I want to show you is a Quince sweater that I'm really loving, and it's the only like summer sweater that's in the lineup. I wanted to put this out towards the end of summer as we're starting to think of back to school and fall. Okay, this is the Quince sweater. I really love this. So this This is a dolman sleeve. Comes maybe just above my elbow, but this is a cotton blend. Had phenomenal reviews online, and it was just $39 on the Quince website. In fact, a lot of people say that they wear this instead of wearing t-shirts. Like, I got this in a size medium. It's definitely a little oversized. I love the dolman sleeves. So this is 65% organic cotton, 32% lensing, trademark. I've never heard of that fabric before. Ecovero, viscose, and 3% cashmere. Let me know in the comments if you've ever heard of that fabric before. Whatever it is, I love it. I do plan on getting this in a couple other colors. I will probably get this in black. So those are all of the sweaters, where I sourced them, what I paid for them, what the fabric content is. Now let's take a closer look at the two headliners here, and that would be the Quince cardigan sweater and the Jenni Kayne sweater. This is not a long-term review. I've only had the Jenni Kayne sweater since April, and I've had the Quince sweater for less than a month. And it's summer, so I'm not like wearing these a whole bunch. I did wear this probably 6 to 10 times. I don't know if it's just the color of the oatmeal, but I feel like this almost has a little bit of a fuzzier element to it, and not in like a pilly fuzzy way. It just has this like glowy softness to it, where the cashmere on the Jenni Kayne feels flatter, for lack of a better word. Let me show them to you side by side on camera. So here is the Quince right here. I love the oatmeal. And here is the Jenni Kayne. So side by side, they're both a ribbed pattern. So I have noticed very quickly that the Jenni Kayne is starting to pill, but I've read many reviews that also say that this pills, and I don't think that that is a big negative. Cashmere pills. It's a natural fiber. It's going to happen. So you should definitely care for your cashmere sweaters in the way that it is recommended. It's worth noting that the Jenni Kayne sweater is dry clean only. The Quince sweater says you can hand wash your sweater, which is what I would prefer to do. There's special detergent you can use to wash your cashmere sweaters, and I'll be sure to link that for you in the description. If you're making an investment, whether it's $139 or $495 or $400 on sale, you want to take care of your cashmere. It's difficult to do a side-by-side comparison of the fit because they are sized differently. This is a medium, and this is about 2 inches wider than the extra small Jenni Kayne, which is to be expected if you're just going by this is an extra small and this is a medium. However, if you go by the size chart on Jenni Kayne, I think it's really deceiving, because if I went by that, I probably would have ordered a medium or a large in this sweater, and it just would not have fit me properly. All of these sweaters are meant to be oversized. When I was doing my try-ons and really taking an honest look at these sweaters, I actually think I prefer the way that the Quince fits me. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's ever so slightly less clingy than the Jenni Kayne, and it could just be because it's a bigger size. So had I bought like a small in this, which I did try on, and I felt like the small just was too big in California when I tried this on. It was not as flattering of a fit. So right now, since my Quince sweater is newer than my Jenni Kayne, I have not experienced any pilling with the Quince sweater, where my Jenni Kayne sweater is already starting to show some pills. Nothing that I would even take a sweater shaver to. In fact, I would be very nervous to sweater shave my Jenni Kayne sweaters. I would want to use a very gentle depiller on this sweater. They're both designed to be somewhat boxy, and when you look at the models on the Jenni Kayne and the Quince website, they always show it when it's open or they're sitting down and they're kind of like making it look all cute and slouchy. So you have to play around with how it works best on your body. I also unbuttoned the bottom 2 buttons, or the bottom 1 button on here. It fits nice and loose, and it's just so pretty. This is the Quince one. So they're both designed to fit boxy and oversized. They're both extremely soft. If I had to pick today which one I thought was softer, I would have to give it to Quince. If I had to pick which one is thicker, I would give that to Jenni Kayne. Both fabric tags on the Jenni Kayne and the Quince simply say 100% cashmere. I would say that it is lush and soft, but it's not overly dense. Like, you're not gonna put this on and feel like you're being weighed down. It's still lightweight, even though it's like really squishy and substantial, but it also doesn't feel like it's too bulky. And if you look at a lot of the reviews on the Quince, it says that it mimics the Jenni Kayne style very closely with the way that it drapes and the weight of it. You know what I'm curious about, and I haven't done this yet, but I'll put it on the screen here. I'm gonna weigh both of them and say what each one weighs on the screen in ounces. But again, I don't know if that's really comparing apples to apples because I bought an extra small in Jenni Kayne and a medium in Quince. Jenni Kayne recommends sizing down 1 to 2 sizes, so that makes sense. If I am a medium in the Quince, it makes sense that I got an extra small in the Jenni Kayne. If you do decide to go for Jenni Kayne, just make sure you take all of that information into account. Now let's shift gears, and I want to go online to some sites that I have had tremendous luck with finding Jenni Kayne at a fraction of the price. And you're not getting a dupe, you're getting the real McCoy, in some cases new with tag, for over half price. And those two sites are ThredUP and the RealReal. So first up, we are going to visit the RealReal. The RealReal is an online secondhand luxury website. I've bought a lot of luxury handbags from the RealReal. I've actually bought some Mont Blanc pens on the RealReal. It's a great resource if you're looking for luxury. Also, if you have luxury items that you are not currently wearing, you can send them to the RealReal and you can earn a credit to put towards some of your other purchases, which I've also done in the past. So I am seeing so many cardigans for sale.
4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28.
I am seeing approximately 70 plus cardigan sweaters from Jenni Kayne, which may not be the best indication for like if people want these long term. I'm actually shocked. Even when I logged on to the RealReal and bookmarked it, I didn't keep scrolling down to see hundreds of sweaters. This is unbelievable. Now, not all of them are the Cocoon cashmere. Some of their cashmere sweaters are a more fitted style. They're not the oversized boyfriend look that I was going for. I'm also seeing some that look like they don't even have any buttons. Some are cropped. But there is an enormous selection of Jenni Kayne sweaters here. If I just go to the first page, which is probably where you're gonna see some of the newer ones that have come in, they're not calling anything cashmere Cocoon. I'm seeing a lot listed as just cashmere v-neck. I decided to switch sweaters so you could see the Jenni Kayne one on me for part of this video. Now, I know you're gonna see everything in B-roll, but then you can kind of see this one as well, and you can let me know what you think. So what you wanna look for if you're looking for this particular sweater, assuming that the RealReal has it right, and I have a lot of experience with them where they don't have it right. For example, when I was looking for a Mont Blanc 149 model, they listed a 146 as a 149. They just had it wrong. So depending on who's processing these items, they don't always get it right. But what I'm looking for is the estimated retail value at $495 because that's what this one cost, $495. So in the very first row, they have 4 cashmere sweaters. One happens to be on hold right now, but the only one that's listed at $495 is a black one, which looks really nice. It's a size small, so they currently have it for $211. Like, bam, over half off right away. So it was originally $235 and it's 10% off, so $211. So these are now new with tag items. They have the same $495, looks like it's in black. Can't tell if it's black or navy blue, but it's on sale for $220. New with tag, same sweater. $220 on the RealReal. So there were only 4 available that are new with tag, and of those that are new with tag, only one is this style, and it's a large. It wouldn't be what I was looking for, but let me take that filter off. I was just curious about that. So we are looking at over 50% off. I would say that the average price is $200. That makes this purchase even a little bit more difficult. Sometimes with these sites, you can put on notifications that you get notified when a particular item that you're looking for comes into stock. But I think it would take very minimal effort to find this sweater in the same size and color family for over 50% off on the RealReal. Now, when I look at ThredUP, there's less selection. If I just do Jenni Kayne cardigan right now on ThredUP, only 2 items are coming up, it's $294, so more expensive on ThredUp. When I was shopping, I wasn't looking specifically for a cardigan sweater on ThredUp. I was just looking for a Jenni Kayne sweater. So let me just do that search and see what comes up. So there are a lot that come up. What you do see on ThredUp that you don't typically see as much on the RealReal is sweaters that have been shrunk. So you'll see they just look very tiny and they're still selling them. You can also score non-cashmere sweaters at better prices on ThredUp, I think. So there's this Jenni Kayne pullover sweater. It's very similar to the style that I got. So the retail they're estimating is $316. They have it for $92. It's $65, and this is a size small. So I believe it's this identical sweater, except it's in like a golden mustard color, which I wouldn't like as much as this. So you do have to be patient when you're looking online. You're not going to get exactly what you're looking for necessarily right out of the gate, but it's a fantastic option if you're looking for the name brand and not the dupe. Let's talk about my final thoughts. If I could do it all over again, I would still want the iconic Jenni Kayne Cocoon cashmere cardigan sweater, but I would absolutely buy it secondhand. Don't get me wrong, I'm still really happy that I have this. It's tied to a very special trip to California, and sometimes there's value in the experience, and I kind of knew that going in, but I don't think that I really thought it through before purchasing this. I do have a little bit of buyer's remorse, even when it came to the tax that I paid on the sweater, like what I could have paid for it in Massachusetts versus getting it in California. And then when I came home and I explored the RealReal in particular, I was really questioning why I ever bought this in person. It's just hard to justify the price tag when you can get it at a fraction of the cost at the RealReal or ThredUp. And I hate to say it, but one of the strategies you could use is to go into a brick and mortar Jenni Kayne and like try them on and figure out the size that you want, and then go try to find it secondhand. I mean, that's the beauty of having a brick and mortar store near you. You can go in and feel the cashmere, try it on, figure out your perfect size, look at what sweaters look best with your coloring, and then go hunt for it. If sustainability is important to you, or you just love the thrill of the hunt, then purchasing secondhand is definitely the way to go. Morally and environmentally, it's the more thoughtful choice. That being said, thrifting Jenni Kayne in the wild is a wild adventure. It's really hit or miss. As you saw, my whole collection of sweaters here. The one Jenni Kayne sweater that my friend Kim found in the wild, I didn't even find it, Kim found it, was not the exact style that I was hunting for, but I love it and it fits me great, and it is definitely part of my everyday wardrobe. It still was not exactly what I was looking for, and thrifting is so time consuming, but I love it and I will continue to do it, and I would love it if I still found this at a thrift store. It's thrilling when you find something from a brand you love, but your options are quite limited. On the other hand, Quince is an incredible alternative. The price is right, the quality is impressive, and you get to choose the exact color and size you want without having to wait. If you're not opposed to buying a dupe, I think it is a beautiful, high quality alternative to Jenni Kayne. Honestly, right now, I'm kind of liking the way the Quince looks on me better. I don't know if it's the color. I don't know what it is. You'll have to let me know which one you think looks better on me. I have been kind of loving this oatmeal color. I definitely plan to circle back in about 6 months and give you an update on how all of these sweaters are doing. And then we'll be in the heart of winter, so I feel like I'll just be wearing them a lot more often. But for now, my takeaway is this. If you want the real thing, I would definitely go secondhand. That is going to be the most bang for your buck, and I do believe there are an enormous amount of options out there, especially on the RealReal. And if you're open to a smart, beautiful, affordable, high quality dupe, then Quince has you covered. So really the outcome of this is kind of a win-win. The one thing I know for sure is I will never pay full price or even 20% off at a brick and mortar store ever again. That I can promise you. I hope you found today's video helpful helpful. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you have a Jenni Kayne Cocoon Cashmere cardigan sweater? Do you have the Quince version? What are your thoughts on dupes? Would you ever pay retail? Have you purchased from the RealReal? Have you found one out in the wild? I would love to hear all about it in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this, and specifically let me know if there's any brand you'd like me to investigate in the future. Remember, I will try to leave links and styles for all of the sweaters that were featured in today's video for you below in case you want to check them out. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.